Yeah. New topic. No, it's a little bit like I really think people don't trust if I tell, this enlightenment state reached, tell something about some stuff, blah, 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 or what. You know, um, let's start with the start, because it's always like this, topic, start with the start, it's the best thing about it. I know what the enlightenment state is, you know, I just ask the question. Did anyone out there that will ever see this video ever heard what you feel, what you see, what happens in you, with you, when you have the enlightenment state? I know people, somebody told them what happens, because I told them. And it's like the enlightenment is really like you have feelings and objects. I come back to it later. Uh, this enlightenment path is not just like I go to the temple or to I don't know, meditation hall, and I sit there and yeah, happy, happy, the enlightenment comes. You just have to have a little bit of head for it. Your body has to be a little bit for it, trained and stuff. And you just have the good heart and a good soul. That's the most important. There's good heart and good soul. Otherwise, I think maybe you can reach the function of enlightenment, but your mind wouldn't give out this vision or this experience that a Buddha comes to you. Like I had this when I had my enlightenment, or just how others say it's just the enlightenment state. Um, from the beginning, when I was 12 years old, really like a little kid, 12 years, really like 12, 13, 11 or something. Um, I was always a little bit interested in religions and this Indian stuff. It's so colorful and so I don't know the holy people over there and stuff and Buddhism. This Buddha thing. Sitting somewhere and I don't know. And then I saw when I was a little bit younger, like 12 years old, I saw a documentation about India. And in India, it's old tradition. There are holy people. They walk. Um, they live naked because they are afraid that if they wear clothes, that little beings like little bugs and all this stuff would be trapped in the clothes and maybe would come to harm when the monk wears clothes. That's holy people never do harm to nothing. And they started in a tradition that they are naked, and every step they make, they have a little brush, a little feather brush, and they always brush in front of their feet every time, every feet, every step. They brush the ground, so never stepping on a little being. And then they brush the next little part of the ground, and then they take the next step. And they walk naked, so no little being is trapped inside the clothes. And when they sit down, they brush where they sit down, and then they sit down, and then they, you know, feel a little bit better about the world that they don't do harm to anything. And they feel good. It's nice idea to do this, but it's a little bit unpractical if you think that you are a 12-year-old boy that lives in Germany and has a normal life. But it was interesting for me, to see people, they were naked and they just, do everything so they don't do harm. I think it's a good, good idea in life, don't do harm to others. Very good idea. Um, it's a little bit like a role model. If you see one time holy people doing the right stuff and you have a little bit brain, you can think about, oh, I have seen once in my life people doing the right thing. Never do harm to anything everywhere, anywhere. No, it's not at least, you can't walk around naked in Germany. It's sometimes winter, it's very cold, you can't do. And it's not like the people would be very happy in a German environment if you walk naked, even if you tell the people, hey, I'm a little bit holy and I don't want to harm bugs. Uh, you know. But what you can start is that you can take every step in your life from this point on when you have the information that it's better to don't to harm, you could take every step from this point on consciously. You know, you could think about, oh, when I do a step, maybe there are little bugs under my feet and I don't want to do harm because I saw one time that holy people don't do harm, you know. So that was the first thing in my path, you know, that's the way of it, that you start at least, you know, if you have the surrounding for it, try to watch where you step, you know. This is the first thing in life. When you take a step, try to realize where you're stepping on, you know? And to have this little bit in the mind that you don't harm little beings that are, you know, a little bit small and they can't fly away so fast or, you know, crawl away, that you don't step on them. You know, living beings. You know, everything living is being, you know. So it's starting with just taking every step like good, you know. And your mind comes to this conclusion, if you really try to, that you have to watch where you step. So I really walked for 30, 20, 30 years. I watch where I step, you know, I watch on the ground and I know where I'm stepping. By watching the ground, I find a lot of stuff, you know. I found money, a lot of stuff on the ground people never see because they don't look where they walk, you know. And this is the first part of this mental thing now. That is also important when you try to reach enlightenment. You have to have a little bit mentally the set for it, you know. Otherwise, your brain couldn't comprehend or couldn't set out this function, you know. So you start walking and you watch your steps, you know. You watch on the ground and you at least try to see if there is an ant that you don't step on. You know, some beings are so small, you should have, you know, crawl and watch very good with the eye if there's a being, but you know, it's not practical in a normal life. So you walk and you watch where you walk. You know, this is the first thing of it all. Um, your mind will have a problem because when you walk and you watch on the ground, you don't see where you walk. You know, you just see what you walk. You know, what your steps do. So it's the first thing where the mind gets trained for meditation and this enlightenment. You know, because if you watch something, you have your focus on it. You watch it and you focus and you try it out. You watch something, you see this what you watch with the focus in the middle of your eye. But you always have the surrounding, the periphery. I don't know if it's an English word, but the periphery, the surroundings of your view field. This is a second view. People don't realize that you have to focus and you have this surrounding, everything is surrounding that is unclear. You know, it's mostly it's like blurred or stuff like this. But if you concentrate on the focus and your mind sees, tries to see the surrounding stuff, you know, not the focus thing. You know, I watch at the moment at the bottom of my OBS studio, stop the record, you know. I watch there but I can see the whole room with my brain. I watch there and I see the whole room, but the surrounding is not like it's very sharp. It's like a little bit blurry. If you watch on the ground for don't step on stuff, on beings, you also see all the surrounding, you know. And this is two minds. This is two minds in you. You have this focus, you can focus, and you can set your mind up to this surrounding stuff. And if you train and train and train and train, you get the surrounding very conscious, you know, and you get it a little bit like more clear. It's not like it's perfect sharp like HD or stuff. It's always a little bit blurry, but you can focus and you can set your mental, your ego to this surrounding watching. So you have a focused mind and you have the surrounding, and this is the first thing where your mind get set to this what the meditation people say. Watch yourself. You know, you start to watch yourself. You sit there and you watch yourself. You know, if you get this view for this periphery for the surrounding, you get the watcher. You know, this mind, your mind. You know, watcher. If you have the focus, this is this the focus mind. This is this fully conscious nearly mind. You know, But if you sit there and you have the periphery, this is the watcher, watch yourself like this, watch the surrounding. Next thing, it's a little bit like I take one step further. The most important thing, if you meditate, don't move what the fuck, You sit there and you start stretching your ass and you think your meditation is full on or what? Fuck it, man, Sit there and don't move at all. That's meditation. Sit there and nothing. And then there's, oh, yeah, there is the clouds come and so, yeah, you got a fart or what? The clouds in yourself or what? What the fuck, man? If you sit there, you start to, if you meditate, you don't move at all. You sit, you have your position, and the start is this. From this point, you don't move, and the meditation will end the first time you will move anything, This is meditation. You sit there and nothing moves. And then it starts, what comes up, the still clouds, it's a little itchy here, a little itchy there, don't scratch, this is where you get controlled about stuff, don't itch your nose, don't itch your ear, don't cough, don't do anything, just sit and don't move. That's real, that's meditation. Um, you have your mental, you have your periphery view mind, you have your focus mind. You don't move, you relax, and you get a little bit stiff over the time when you do long meditation. But it's all you control. Your mind is controlling, and you see where you're going. You see when you sit there and you don't move. You see, oh, your legs. Your mind gets over your body. And then you see, I think about this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's interesting that my mind gets this direction and stuff. But it's if you concentrate for don't move and all this stuff, you get more and more like focused and stuff. And the less and less of these things that come in the mind are there, because you know, and with this non-moving, you also have a feeling, you know. You sit there, and if you don't move, you have more feeling. And if you move, this feeling gets a little bit less, and they, later the llamas, they can do like a little bit moving and they still keep the feeling of this, of this is the backup, or this is the information from the body that you are in the right state. It's not like I wake my feelings when I meditate. It's just like if you meditate, you have this feeling on because you don't move. This is one fact in meditation, that you are at least on this feelings for this meditation, you know. And with this later that I really had the enlightenment, in this state, more comes out, and you have like you got optics, you see, and the feelings really get good, and this affects. It's not like, oh, I have this enlightenment. It's a fact that your mind gives you, that you reached a certain type of level in your mental or in your soul or something, you know and you have the backup job to check, okay, I'm in this motion or in this function, so my mind can work better when I'm in this function, because more brain and stuff on, it's always happy, this enlightenment and this meditation stuff is really like, don't move, man, just don't move, and you can do everywhere. If you start meditating in a bus, it's funny, you sit there and you don't move. And you really will see people that start to try to make you move. This is the point where you start realizing how much manipulation is out there between the people. You sit there and next to you is someone, and this one loses his feeling for nothingness, And if he sets your mind, you know his feeling is better, and it's a lot of working with affections, if I sit here and someone is sitting next to me and I do like that, I look, oh, the other one would look too. And if it's this one would be a meditating one in the early stages, if he moves his head, he would lose his meditation, you know and it's crazy if you just start non-moving everywhere, you just sit in a bus and you don't move. You will see people trying to manipulate you. And this is interesting. You will see how much you is them, how much of your doings, this affections from others, you People are blind. They don't see how much they are made by the others. And with this not moving, just don't move, just sit there, don't move. And you start realizing how much people, they depend on manipulating you. Suckers, it's vampires, it's energy. I really think they take out the sea or something like that. It's a great thing. But with this not moving, you really, you will see it. You will see it. It's strange, man. It's really like I was shocked to see how much manipulation my life had. You know, you stand somewhere waiting on the bus, someone comes, but he wants to stand there because I don't know, better watch, better view, and you don't know why, but you know. 1 minute later, you start walking a little bit away, and you think, "Oh, I want to relax. It's better for me that I walk a little bit." And this other person has now the good place with the good view, and he was just manipulating you subconsciously. And think about how much you do outside. Oh, it's crazy. I was shocked. Really was shocked. Crazy. And it's sometimes like people, they don't like you so much when they can't manipulate you. You will have a little bit like setbacks in your life if you really start like this, and you will see maybe, serve them. If you like people, serve them. If they need to manipulate you with a little bit stuff and here, walk there, and don't stand here because I want to stand here, but you don't realize that I told you to go away. Serve sometimes people. I don't care. I served all my life. I realized I served all my life these past times. But it's strange to wake up. It's a really strange thing. And it's a meditation thing. It's about enlightenment and stuff. And I could tell, a little zip because, it's like talking. I think now it's 20 minutes or something because it's important. With this meditation stuff, it's a good function. If you have this enlightenment, your mind is set on a very good function. And I would guess if I wouldn't be so fucked up by everyone, if I would have this good, good feelings, happiness and stuff from life. I had this once in Amsterdam. I was so happy from life that my enlightenment state kicked in. That was so nice. I was sitting there meditating with good friends in Amsterdam. And, I was so happy. I was so lucky, so it was such a good day. Everything was nice. I was so good mooded with good people meditating. And just by feeling so good, the meditation state kicked in. And that was nice. It's like, I don't know. It's a little bit sad to see from others and how much it's decadent, how much the world missed maybe with fuck me up. Strange thing. I don't know. But this meditation stuff, it's really like you wake up with it. If you do it correct, you really wake up with it and you will see how much manipulation subconsciously is in every contact with other persons, nearly in every contact. And I hope you will none be, too sad to see how much people just manipulate you. But I think there's time to wake up. Realize what it is. It's affection and all this stuff. A lot of things you did because of others. Always a good excuse. I made so much. I didn't make my life the perfect life because of others. It's true, and it's a good excuse to not be fucked up totally by this shit. And this thing is, you know, just don't move. Set your mind on the watch a little bit with this periphery and the focus watch. And you will see that your mind gets more and more your own. Because if you don't get manipulated, you will get your own more. And I think, it's lying to a soul if they manipulate us subconsciously. It's one of the greatest sins there is everywhere in the universe. This is a sin to fool the soul, you know? So, we just don't move. We wake up and we see how much, our soul was, manipulated. and we have a little bit better life because we can, choose our own destiny a little bit better if we make our destiny, none the others for their own fucking shit purpose. Time to wake up, open your eyes project 2.0, 2023 or something.